Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. This is Simon with AvaTrade, and we're starting our weekly webinar, Interactive Trading Conversations. A few words about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a Senior Account Manager with AvaTrade. I've been involved with trading for the past 24 plus years, and I started as a prop trader in New York City, and then after 11 years, I moved on into a different way of trading. And also started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy to have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar, we ask questions, we discuss things, we analyze markets, and I see some new faces here. Basically, what we do here, we ask specific questions about certain markets. So people could ask about commodities, stocks, any instruments that are tradable in AvaTrade, so we can discuss it together. A risk warning, you can find a full statement at avatrade.com website. And of course, everything we do here, it's purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media, please feel free to follow us on Telegram, X, and YouTube. On YouTube, you have a lot of posts, you have education materials, you have tutorials, you have webinars. Some of you will be watching this on YouTube, so you can browse through webinars all the time. If you missed the live webinar, you can always find it on YouTube. Also, if you are on YouTube, don't forget to click likes if you like it, share with people that you think might benefit from this, and you can feel free to write your comments and questions. Okay, so we'll start with the questions that we received, and we'll go through them. Meanwhile, if you have personal questions about any specific market, type it in the same way that you helped me here to confirm that you could hear and see me in the questions window. Just type the question, anything you'd like, oil, Tesla, euro, dollar, whatever it is. I just gave you a few examples, gold, other things. Feel free to ask questions about specific markets. So we'll start with these questions here. One by one we'll go to. So have you noticed how euro dollar moves after big economic news? Why do you think that happens? It's a good question. And if you look at Forex world, euro dollar is the most traded currency pair. And of course, on one side you have the euro, the currency of European Union, then on the other side is dollar. So the economic news or announcements, something that we find in the economic calendar, often move the markets. So just give you an example, we had the CPI news today, right? Which came a little bit lower. So let's see, we can see a live example how market was reacting to those news. And here you go. This is the time the news came, 12:30 GMT. You can even break it in 5-minute chart. Take a look. So when the CPI came, euro dollar was intraday moving a little bit lower if you take the 5-minute chart, right? And then with the news, we had the huge spike breaking through the highs of the day, and then it came right back, erasing, I don't know, roughly 60% of that move. And the very next candle erased the previous advance. So it's important, and that's why I always say when you prepare yourself for the week, it's one of the webinars I do, the weekly market reviews. You can also find it on YouTube, I think. So we go there through the economic calendar. Sorry about something. Sorry about that. Something with the audio just got cut off. So when we speak about economic calendar in the beginning of the week, it's very important to know that these certain things are happening. Like last week, we had NFPs or interest rate decisions or anything else. So that's why the anything to do with economic news affecting the euro dollar, and mostly it being affected because dollar is part of it, and most of the important economic news are coming from the U.S., which is directly affecting the U.S. dollar. Great question. Now, next question: why do you think tech stocks like Apple and Tesla are so popular with investors? It's a good question. Apple has been a great company, as we know. Warren Buffett's been the big investor. I think lately they were unloading a little bit. Tesla also has a crazy history with almost going bankrupt into, at some point, was a number one company by the market cap. So investors are looking for a return on their money. So they're looking for companies that have good potential. So I guess Apple and Tesla is on that list. And of course, recently there was a lot of issues with Elon Musk, who's the CEO, being involved with all the changes that new U.S. administration is doing, that firing and other things. So there were a lot of issues and still are. So people are boycotting Tesla, and it's been affecting the stock. Also, Apple has been struggling a little bit with the slowing China sales. But both companies are on the list of the high rollers, you can call them, the companies that are at the large cap list, right? So if we take a look at Apple, has been doing well until the slowing in the Chinese sales with the iPhones and so on. And of course, recently the whole market's been selling, right? So Apple's been going down with it. And Tesla, something that I mentioned to you with Elon Musk being involved with U.S. government, has been affecting the stock negatively. So we are down more than 50% from the peak of mid-December here. Right. So that's technically speaking, we came to the sport here. But investors, when they make the decision, they look for something. Again, going back to Warren Buffett, he likes to invest in companies that will be in business, and that the product that they produce is going to remain in the high demand. So, of course, some of the companies, I'm not sure actually if Apple and Tesla, they have dividends. I can't say it top of my head, but a lot of big companies, they also pay dividends. So the shareholders get something they call income investing. So they get periodically the payouts of dividends by being the shareholders of the companies. Next question. What's the first thing you look at before deciding if stock is worth buying? I'm not going to talk about myself, but in general, it has to make sense. First of all, you need to decide, I guess, what's the purpose of your buying that stock. Are you a day trader? Sorry, it jumped. Are you a day trader? Are you a scalper? Are you a midterm investor? Are you a long-term investor? So I guess when you answer those questions, you will know how to look into it. If you're a scalper and day trader, you need the stock that has a good enough range for you to trade intraday. Also, you need to look into direction. So if the stock is in the down trend, you'll be looking to short it. If it's an uptrend, you'll be looking to buy it. If you're a midterm or long-term investor, it's a different game. You don't care about intraday volatility. You would read fundamentals, the earnings of the company. You will see what funds are holding it, hedge funds, investors, mutual funds. That's a different game. So I think, and of course, you look at the technicals. You use the chart and use the larger time frame to understand the direction, and then you zoom in, look for more precise entry, so you have a less risk. So those are few things to take into consideration when you trade. So again, first you need to decide what's your time frame for your investment, and then based on that, you will choose what you want to trade. Of course, some people like to trade sectors. If technology is on the rise, so they look into technology stocks. If technology is selling, if they are not the investors but the momentum traders, and they're looking to catch a quick short trade, that would go into it. So there's a lot of things to consider. Next question, excuse me. What do you think affects oil price more? Global supply, global politics, or supply and demand? It's hard to say actually what affects more. Sometimes you see issues like we currently have in the Middle East that affects the price of oil. Also, as we remember, when the war in Ukraine started, also there was a huge move up in oil. So it depends. Supply and demand is definitely an important issue. I'll just give you an example. Let's bring crude oil chart. So it's been, as we know, it hasn't been so strong. It's been selling, and actually now the last 2 days, including today, we're trying to bounce. So we've been selling from 80s here from beginning of the year, the mid-January. And if you take a big picture, the weekly chart, we've been clearly in a downtrend, making lower highs and lower lows here. So we had a few geopolitical things. The wars, definitely the effect on oil. And on the demand and supply. Supply, of course, it's all, I guess supply is connected to geopolitical situation, right? So if there are issues in the Middle East, there's always fear of not enough oil being produced. And then, of course, we have OPEC that they constantly deciding to cut the production, to increase the production. That also affects the price of the oil. And then on the demand side, so I think let's just go back to the question. So global politics or supply and demand, it's all connected, right? So on the demand side, as we said, it's all about how the economy is doing. A global economy, number one, and China is really affecting the oil a lot, as demand from China affects the oil prices. So when the economy has been doing great, it's logically to think that more oil is being used in China, not just for use as fuel, but a lot of plastics and other things are being made using oil. So it was a strong demand. But then, as we know, since the time of pandemic, China is still trying to recover. So as you could see here, there was a big move on China right here when they start changing the policies and injecting equity into the markets. And then we retraced in the 2 days, we lost 50% of that move. They took 2 weeks actually. And since then, we're pretty much flat, up and down, zigzagging here. But I think the weakness of weakness of oil currently has a lot to do with Chinese economy still showing weakness here. So hypothetically, if we saw another move up on Chinese index, we would probably see increased demand for oil. So as of now, We have things are kind of cool in the Middle East, so that doesn't present kind of a huge threat to the production or to supply. And on demand side, things are not so bright. That's why you see oil has been slowly making lower lows and lower highs. All right, so that's as far as the questions that we have. And I didn't see any questions posted from the audience. Do you guys have any questions? You can ask by typing in the questions window. So I'll give it a few more seconds. Please type your questions. I don't see any questions coming in, so we don't have such an active audience today. Just okay. We managed to answer these 4 questions here. And if you don't have any questions, so we're going to wrap it up until next week. Again, don't forget about the social media. You have Telegram, X, and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. If you like it, click on the likes. And we should be seeing you next week. Take care. All the best.